short video is going to intend to help you guys remember how to factor down some trinomials. A trinomial is any quadratic that's got an a term, a b term, and a c term that's there for you guys. And this factoring method that I'm showing you is going to be usable for any quadratic trinomial that you guys have, if it can be factored by hand. I want to go through this kind of quickly though, because I do want to keep this video short. You guys can pause and rewind as many times as you need to help you remember the process if you're studying, but I'm going to go through it kind of quick. I want to start off by reminding you that if I have an a term that is a negative, I want to take care of that part first, because that makes it really difficult for me to factor by hand. And so I'm going to show you how to get rid of that real quick, and then we're just going to proceed from there. The first thing I want to do is get rid of that -1 that's in front of my term that's there. So I'll take a -1 out of everything inside of my equation. So that's going to make this a positive 7x squared, a negative 8x, a negative 12, and it's all still equal to 0. Now, what I've got is an a term that's positive, and I'm going to go through and just proceed the way I normally would. For a problem like this, when you've got a trinomial, the quickest way for you to factor it is you will multiply your a term times your c term and figure out the factor pairs that are going to add up to that middle term, which is the b term. So you're going to find the factor pairs that multiply together to be ac, but add up to be the b term. Okay, so 7 times a negative 12 is a negative 84. And now I'm going to factor pair this thing down and look for the pairs that will add together to equal negative 8. So I have some that I know already. I'm just going to go through these very quickly. And here we go. If I multiply 6 and negative 14 together, it does equal a negative 84. And if I add these two things together, then this is going to equal my negative 8, which is the b term that I have in my equation. So this is the factor pair I'm going to use. Now when I go through and do this, I have to factor this by grouping. And the way that I'm going to do this is keep that -1 chilling out in front, but I'm going to break up my b term into the two pieces that make it up. And so this will be a 7x squared still. That doesn't change. But I'll have a positive 6x and a minus 14x instead of having that negative 8, I broke it up into the two pieces. So I have a positive 6 and a negative 14x, and it does combine to equal this negative 8x. So I should be good there. Now I'm going to go through in both of these little sets of parentheses and find the greatest common factor that I can remove out of both. -1 stays in front. The greatest common factor that I have in the first set of parentheses is just x. And when I factor that out of that first set of parentheses, I will be left with a 7x and a 6. I need to factor out whatever I can out of this set of parentheses to be left with the 7x plus 6, because it needs to be exactly the same, or else this is not factorable by hand. The thing I would need to factor out of this set of parentheses to be left with 7x plus 6 is a -2. At this point in time, I have everything mostly factored. I just need to recombine it. This part here and this part here are going to become its own set of parentheses. So I'll have an x plus 2 for that part. I also have, if I'm looking at this, a 7x plus 6 and a 7x plus 6 that will become its own set of parentheses. And I should still have that -1 that's hanging out front. All of this is still going to be equal to 12, or equal to 0. Now I just need to solve. I'm going to take each factor, set it equal to 0, and solve it individually. This one here is going to be x plus 2 equals 0. That's my solution there, is x is a -2. This one will be 7x plus 6 is equal to 0. and there's my other solution. I really hope this helps you. Good luck. Study for your test.